I want to talk about the leg muscles of the torso models. To begin with, we're going to start off with the iliopsoas muscle. The iliopsoas muscle group, I should say, is going to consist of two muscles in particular. Your iliacus right here, as well as your psoas major, together make up the iliopsoas. Iliacus and psoas major right here. Right here is your iliac crest. Right here on this model, we can see the iliac crest here. We can see the iliacus right here, and we can see the psoas major. Gluteus maximus. Let me show it to you here on this model. So the gluteus maximus is right here. Lumbodorsal fascia, the iliac crest. This structure right here is the sciatic nerve. Now, I want to take this muscle off here, and you won't see the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. That's why we're going to go over here and look at this model. So, right here, we can see the gluteus maximus right here. And then right here, we can see the gluteus medius. So gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and gluteus minimus. And this muscle here is the piriformis muscle. So let me go over that again. Gluteus maximus, it's been cut. Gluteus maximus has been cut. Gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. Piriformis muscle, and then you have your sciatic nerve running down right through here. Sciatic nerve. And on this model here, we can see the same thing. So we see the piriformis and the sciatic nerve. Let's do the quadriceps muscles. There are 4 quadriceps muscles. There are 4 of them. And we can see them right here. Here is your rectus femoris right here, or your quadriceps femoris. Rectus femoris or quadriceps femoris. And then we have the vastus lateralis here. And then we have the vastus medialis right here. Quadriceps femoris or rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis. Now, there's a tendon right here called the quadriceps femoris tendon. That's going to connect to the patellar bone. So hopefully you see that. Now, when you cut the quadriceps femoris tendon and you reflect the quadriceps femoris muscle back, you will see a muscle right here called the vastus intermedius. So vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius, and vastus medialis. Let's move on to the next thing here. So we've done the quadriceps muscles. So let's do the hamstring muscle group. So if you look right here, we have the gluteus maximus right here. This is the lateral side here. This is your left leg. This is the lateral side. So we have the biceps femoris right here. Biceps femoris right here. And then on the medial side, we have the semitendinosus. Semitendinosus. And right here, and right here, we have the semimembranosus. So underneath the semitendinosus, you have the semimembranosus. Here and here. And then when you take off the biceps femoris, so I'm taking it off, you will see the biceps femoris short head right here. And let's move on to the next thing. Let me put the biceps femoris back on. And now we're ready to go. Well, not exactly, but okay. Well, just don't want to do right, does it? So right here, we can see the tensor fasciae latae right here. Tensor fasciae latae right here. This muscle right here. See? Tensor fasciae latae. Right there. Tensor fasciae latae. And then we have the iliotibial tract running right down through here on the lateral side of the leg. What are these muscles here? These are your quadriceps muscles. So remember, you have the vastus lateralis, and then this muscle here is your rectus femoris. Tensor fasciae latae. And then this right here is your IT tract, iliotibial tract, vastus lateralis, rectus femoris. Now, let's move on to, I want to show you that on another model. So on this model here, this is your tensor fasciae latae. And this is your IT tract running down right through here. Tensor fasciae latae, right here. And on this model, I think we can see the tensor fasciae latae. Yes, we can. So, we have tensor fasciae latae right here. And we have the sartorius muscle right here, which we'll do in a little bit. And then right here we have the quadriceps, some of the quadriceps muscles. So this right here is probably the rectus or quadriceps femoris here. And then this one right here, well, I won't go any further than that, but right here we see the tensor fasciae latae here. Okay, let's continue with the adductors. Now, we have this diagonal shaped muscle here. This diagonal shaped muscle here is called your sartorius. So what is this muscle right here? You should say rectus femoris or quadriceps femoris. What is this muscle here? We're on the medial side. What is this muscle here? The vastus medialis. So sartorius right here. Now, we have this muscle here, which is the gracilis muscle. Here's the gracilis muscle. So, the sartorius muscle here, this diagonal shaped muscle, sartorius, and the gracilis is going to form a V. And this is where you have your adductors. So you have your adductor magnus right here. Adductor magnus right here. Excuse me. Your adductor longus is right here. And then your magnus is right here. Adductor longus and then magnus. On the practical, I'll just have you to know the abductors. The abductors are in between the gracilis and the sartorius. So here's your gracilis, here's your sartorius. Adductors, adductors. Let me show you the sartorius here. So here's your sartorius on this model here. And here would be the adductors here. And this right here is the gracilis. So it forms a V. I think I've already showed you that on this one here. And we can't see the abductors. But anyway, we see the sartorius right here, this diagonal muscle. Okay. Now, so one more time here. Gracilis, sartorius, adductors. And right here, we have the femoral vein, artery, and nerve. So when you're going from medial to lateral, you'll have your femoral vein, artery, nerve. Spells van, V-A-N. Okay. We have the tibialis anterior now that I want to show you. So the tibialis anterior is this muscle right here. Tibialis anterior. Now, there's a tibialis posterior muscle which is right here. This muscle's been taken off here. This part of the leg has been taken off to expose the more internal muscles here. So we have the tibialis posterior right here and tibialis anterior right there. Okay, let's continue with the next part here, the next few muscles. And let's reattach this. Good. Now, I want to tell you about these muscles all together here. So, here's where we're starting. Now right over here, you should know this muscle already, is the tibialis anterior, right? This next muscle here is the flexor digitorum. Sorry. This is the extensor digitorum longus. This is the extensor digitorum longus, involved in extension. Now, on the opposite side here, on the medial side, this would be the flexor right here. This would be the flexor digitorum longus. So on the medial side, you have your flexor digitorum longus. On the lateral side, as we see here, you have the extensor digitorum longus. So tibialis anterior, this right here would be the extensor digitorum longus. This next one here would be the peroneus longus, also would be called the fibularis longus. This one right here. Fibularis longus or peroneus longus. Okay? And then right in here would be the fibularis brevis here. But anyway, all I want you to know here, this would be the fibularis longus, this would be the fibularis brevis here. So, tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, fibularis longus. This next muscle here would be the soleus, and then the gastrocnemius muscle. This would be the lateral head right here of your gastrocnemius muscle. Okay, let's flip it over. So, right here we see the posterior view of the gastrocnemius muscle. And we can see the lateral head, I've already showed you, and then the medial head. And let's turn it this way to look at the medial view here. So we have the soleus, we have the soleus right here. And this medial head of your gastrocnemius can be taken off, as we see, thus exposing the soleus muscle. The soleus muscle is a deeper muscle. Let's put it back on. So this is the medial head of the gastrocnemius. This right here is the soleus muscle. It can be taken off. Soleus is all this right here, underneath your gastrocnemius muscle. What is this muscle right here again? This is your flexor digitorum longus. Flexor digitorum longus. So, let me go over those one more time, and this will be it. So what is this muscle here? Tibialis anterior. What is this muscle here? Flexor, don't get mixed up. Extensor digitorum longus. Do an extension. These would be extensors right here. That's going to flex the foot as well as the toes. And these would be flexors right here. These would be flexors right here, which flex the toes, curl up the toes. Okay? So, tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, fibularis longus or peroneus longus, soleus, gastrocnemius, and I forgot one. This right here is your calcaneal tendon, attaches to your calcaneus bone. So calcaneal tendon right here. This is the calcaneal tendon. And then on the medial side, we see the gastrocnemius, again, soleus, flexor digitorum longus, and we see the tibia bone. And that's got it.